Now we get into the Lost 45s, the songs that did not make the top 40. Boy, I forgot about this record, the Jets. Doing pretty good on my fantasy playlist, September 6, 1986. Song by the Jets, Private Number. Number 24, set number 24 on my fantasy playlist that week, up 8 from 28. The Jets. They were a family. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Franco family back in the early 70s, but they had a number of hit records in the late 80s. The Jets, their parents, they're from a Polynesian island, a South Pacific island called Tonga, but the family children grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they started performing as a group. Siblings, brothers and sisters, started performing in 1977. They were discovered by a fellow named Don Powell, who managed Stevie Wonder and David Bowie previously, and their debut album. I believe it was self-titled. I believe it was just called The Jets, their debut album. First song I remember hearing by the Jets, fall of 1985, Curiosity. That was a club dance banger right there, but not very popular on the radio. And then they came out with a Crush on You. Crush on You, their big commercial offering, their first real big commercial offering, went to number 3 on Billboard's Hot 100. And other big hits by them, Summer of '87, Cross My Broken Heart from the Beverly Hills 2 soundtrack, Summer of '87, Cross My Broken Heart, Make It Real, and of course, Rock It To You. What the guy had a thick funk beat. Man, it's just great. Great record. Rock It To You. Danceable, catchy, infectious. Rock It To You, that was back around the spring of 1988. But let's get back to this record. Uh, I forgot the name of the record. I'm too excited. It's like that Pointer Sisters record. I'm so excited. Private Number. Private Number was co-written by a guy named Jerry Knight. He co-wrote, he co-wrote, and by the way, You Got It All, which is also off that album. Guess who wrote that song? Rupert Holmes. He wrote that, You Got It All, which was another top 10 or top 20 off the album by the Jets. Fall of '86, I think, when that came out. Maybe early '87. But anyway, let's get back to Private Number before I get off topic again. Private Number, co-written by Jerry Knight. Jerry Knight was one of the co-founders of radio. Remember radio? He left the group early on, but he sang lead on Jack and Jill, radio's first big hit, back in the spring of '78. Then he teamed up, some years later, he teamed up with a drummer. His name was Ollie Brown, and they became Ollie and Jerry, and they had that huge hit it was a breaking album. It was the Breaking movie. I think it was called Breaking. They had a song out called Breaking about break dancing, which was just well, no pun intended, but was breaking out back in the early to mid '80s. Breaking, that great beat to that song too. God, it's a great dance record. Breaking by Ollie and Jerry. Spring, summer of 1984. Jerry Knight, he co-wrote Curiosity. He co-wrote Crush on You. He co-wrote this record, Private Number by the Jets. Private Number did not do as well. Probably more of a club record than a radio record per se. Only got as high as number 47 on Billboard's Hot 100. And also off that album, they covered the Delphonics, La 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 La, I Love You, which came out back in 1968, co-written, co-produced by the legendary Tom Bell, who worked with the Delphonics and later on the Stylistics, the Sound of Philadelphia. Anyway, I forgot to mention, they're the Wolfgram family. WOLFGRAMM, the Wolfgram family. And Eugene Wolfgram teamed up with Joe Pasquale, and they formed a group called the Boys Club. Remember the Boys Club? They had a hit in 1988 called I Remember Holding You. I'm still thinking about Curiosity. I really got into that record. I was so disappointed it did not chart. At least didn't get on Billboard's Hot 100. But they made up for lost time with Crush on You, and You Got It All, Rock It To You, Cross My Broken Heart. Huge hits. by the Jets. Not so much though Private Number, but boy, I love those Lost 45s. Doing a lot better on my fantasy playlist than it did on Billboard's Hot 100. At number 24, Private Number, Jets, fantasy playlist September 6, 1986.